Hiya, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today I have a Stampin' Up haul for you. Now, they were doing their kind of yearly, well, one of their yearly sales, and I think it's in preparation for the new launch. I'm not 100% on that, but I think the new colours would be due out sort of May time. As I say, I'm not 100% on that, and you guys may know better on that than me. However, there were quite a few, well, not quite a few, there were a few bits that were on sale and being discontinued, or just things that I had my eye on for a bit. So I thought, right, let's go ahead and put that order in. So that has what I have. Okay, so the first thing that I got was the remaining sets of markers. I'd got the brights and a couple of sets of the sort of seasonal colours or annual colours, or however they're called. So I got those, and so I wanted to get the rest before. To be honest, I don't know, but I always get a bit nervous when the basics are there and whether they decide to change them or anything. So I just thought, right, let's get these in, and I really liked using them, and I didn't have many in. Relatively, there wasn't very many sort of selection that I had yet, so I thought, right, let's just get the other colours in. So we've got here the subtles, the regals and the neutrals. So let me just bring you down a bit so you can see these a bit more. So these match up with their inks, and they tend to be a pretty good match, I think, I guess. And sometimes sort of the inks don't always completely match, because obviously the ink that's in the ink pad is not always the same ink as they can put inside a pen, so they have to sort of match it as best they can, and I would say that Stampin' Up have done a pretty good job with that. So here you've got all your neutral shades. This one has 8 markers in it, and I think this is a really helpful one. It's really good for your shading as well, so you can use these underneath colours, sort of like your browns, your reds and things, to lay down a shade first. But just generally, I just think they're just a really handy colour. So those are those. Then I've got the Regals, which I think are a beautiful rich colour. So that's a set of 10. So let me just show you how these come. I thought I would show you on a brighter colour. So you've got, it's called a Stampin' Right marker, and this is rose red, but you've got 2 ends to your marker. So you've got here, it shows you what those are. So you've got what they, I guess it's almost like it's sort of like a bullet tip, but it's not, I don't know if you can see. You can see it's not like a felt tip bullet tip. It's got just like the little end of ink, almost like a gel marker, but obviously not with gel ink, the way that just comes through the tip. So it makes it very good for writing. So if you're doing any journaling and stuff like that, it's really cool because you can use it. I mean, I don't do scrapbooking, but for things like that, I can see that would be really nice, that you could do your journaling to match your page if you've used your stamps and stuff like that. So that's, I think, really nice. This is more like your traditional markers, in that it's that felt sort of tip, a brush tip, this one, and the ink is throughout the marker itself. So I think that's I really like those 2 tips. I'm not a massive fan of a chisel tip, to be honest. So just grabbing a scrap of paper here. I've just got one of these magnetic shopping lists. Isn't that cute? His face is so adorable. So I just didn't have a scrap of paper to hand, believe it or not, and I don't want it to go through. So but I just thought I'd show you how these write. So this is your bullet point, as it were. So you can see that writes up really nice and fine. You saw I wasn't trying to write slowly there. In fact, I was deliberately trying to write quite quick, because often you find that if you do that with some of these cheaper pens, then it just doesn't work. And then for our brush tip, now these are very blendable. They're water-based, so you can use them with your watercolour paper, etc. I've actually got a video that I used the markers on, and I will link that video. It was a project video with the cute little monsters in, and so I'll link that video on the blog post for you, so you can just see how the markers work, because I think it's always handy to see how they kind of actually work doing an actual project. So I'll put that on there for you when I put this video up. So if you're on YouTube, you need to go to the paragraph below. It says show more, click on that, and then you'll see it says corresponding blog post, and if you click on that, it will take you to my website, to the blog post that goes with this video, and it will have all that kind of extra information, including that video that I've just said. So then the last marker set that I've got is the subtles, and I just think that is such a pretty set. They're so delicate, so pretty. And again, that's a 10 marker set. So now this came with my order. I think this is just a little free gift from my demonstrator, and this is just a little block. And this is block A, and I'm actually really excited to have this because I was really curious to see what their blocks were like, and a little teeny block like this is actually really helpful. Oh, it's got another wrapper on it, and it's really nice. It's got a really nice grip, so even for a small block, this is really sort of going to be nice and easy to hold, because often the smaller ones particularly, you really find you're sort of losing them because they've got the smooth sides. So with these kind of grooves, there, that's allows you to hold on to them really well, so that's really helpful, I think, and I'm actually pleased to see what those are like, because I was curious, and as I say, I quite like the little one. It's kind of cute. So that's that, and so thank you very much to my lovely demonstrator. So then the next things that I got were some stamp sets. So this particular stamp set I've been wanting for ages. I don't know why, it just really appealed, and so I've been sort of hankering after it for some time. This is called kind of Eclectic, and it is exactly that. You've got this lovely little border, you've got this kind of sun shape, which I think will look really cool behind things. Then you've got your leaves, some butterflies, and then a little sentiment. Now these butterflies, I think you can get punches that match these, or dies, I'm not sure which off the top of my head, so they would be able to be punched out. This is the red rubber, so you can, and it comes with I don't know if you can see here, this sheet, and then you peel it off there, then you peel the back off this bit and you stick it onto the back of your stamp here once you've peeled this bit off. Now what you will find, however, is that this without this backing on is great. It clings beautifully to your blocks. As soon as you put this on, it's like a film, and it's got virtually no cling to it. So what you need to do if you do want to use these, I don't use them very often unless it's something like, I don't know, sentiment, where it's kind of, you need to have some help lining it up. But something like a butterfly, you can kind of see the shape from the back anyway, so it's not a big deal. But when I do put them on, what I do is I stick it on, and then I use my stick glue pen, and I literally just swipe, draw over it, leaving a very thin layer of the zig glue, and that's that sort of blue glue, and then it dries white. But when it dries with just a light tack to it, and then you can stick it onto the block. So it's up to you. Personally, I put them on as infrequently as possible. So then the other sets, the next set I got is Build a Birdcage, as in builder, not build a, Birdcage, and I just think this is so cute. You can, you know, put it together in all different ways. I just think, you know, you can have some real fun with this. This is a photopolymer, so a different kind. I don't think it came in the red rubber. It came obviously in, I'm sure, with the blocks, you know, the wooden blocks if you prefer that, but I like the photopolymer or the red rubber. I think the red rubber is probably my favourite, but this would be next in line. Now this one is a hostess set. Now if you order over a certain amount, you get the points on your order, and then you can spend those either on other items. So in my case, I think I used it and I got a set of pens for basically the points, so effectively I didn't pay for those, but you can also, it also opens up other sets of stamps or items that are hostess items that you can't purchase unless you have acquired these points. So this is one of these sets. Now my demonstrator Michelle, she actually sent a card out to me and it had this little elephant on it, so I hunted around to find out what set it was, or I might have even asked her. And so when I put in the order, I just put this on my order because I just thought it was absolutely adorable. Even the sentiments are really nicely done. And look at these, aren't they just so cute? Little frog. And then the elephant and the mouse. So cute. So I thought that was really nice. So then I've got this set here. This was actually brought to my attention by one of you guys. I hadn't actually seen this, and somebody sort of said, oh, I really want this set, and I went to see what it was because I just wondered what it was that she really liked, and it's called Beautiful You, and it's a 2-box set. So you've got the red rubber again. Oh, by the way, sorry, that one was red rubber as well. So it's the red rubber again, and you've got these lovely sketchy, almost fashion sort of style images, some sort of little swirly bits and some great sentiments, and then over here as well. So I think that is going to make some really, really fun cards. Can't wait to use those. So then the last two sort of things that I got were these. I think this is a set. Anyway, I need to open this, but I'm pretty certain this was the set. It's called Lift Me Up, and then the Sizzix that goes with it is Up and Away thin lit dies. So you've got this great, again, red rubber, loads of stamps in there, so lots of great sentiments. And I don't know why, I just love balloons, whether it's this sort or little balloons and owls. That's my two things I really like. So there's some really, I mean, look at that, it's so cute, little note. And then you've got the die set that goes with it. Yeah, it does go with it. I was just suddenly having a moment and thinking, oh, did I get the right one? Yeah, I think that goes around those. So you've got these that will go around these two balloons here. I think, yeah, and then the two clouds go around that. Then you've got extras, so you've got this big balloon set, you've got these individual pieces as well to make up, so you can really make up a fun balloon with that. And obviously you've got these extra clouds here and a heart, so you've got sort of what goes with that plus more on this, so you've got a lot of dies in that set. And then the final thing I've got for today is this great Dragonfly Dreams and detailed I can't speak today, dragonfly dreams and detailed dragonfly dies. I think that's what it is, fly dies. It's just quite hard to say. So again, I mean, this was just almost the selling point for me, this cute little bumblebee. I can see this layered up and how nice that's going to look. And I love dragonflies, but I have to say my mum is the one that absolutely adores dragonflies. And then you've got these great sentiments again. I love the font on that. And this one is photopolymer. So you can see, and I love this sort of dotty bit and everything. It's just these extra sort of elements. I think it makes it really cool. So then we've got the detailed dragonfly thinlits. This time I'm not going to take the paper out, I'm just going to take the centerpiece. So then you've got all these dragonflies, and the bumblebee. So because this is photopolymer, we can actually lay it over so that you can stamp and it will fit with that one. So you can just die cut that out. But you could also do a bit of layering, so you could stamp and then die cut over that with the detailed one. Then you've got this great sort of it's like it's like they're moving, isn't it, flying up the page. And then finally you've got your little bumblebee, and yep, that will die cut him as well. So you could use that one for the bumblebee there if you wanted just to do a more plain stamp and die cut. And of course you don't have to have the stamps at all for these dies, you could just use them as they are, because you could really create some beautiful elements just with these. And these actually, by the way, these have cutting edges all the way around, so this one will cut straight out. You don't have to use the second one or anything, it's not layering. So that is my Stampin' Up haul. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at that with me. I look forward to sharing some projects that I make with this stuff. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again soon with another video. Bye.